Jim, welcome. We're here to talk today a little bit about the Westmont Lions Club. And how long have you been involved with the Westmont Lions?
I joined the Lions in 1971. I had been hired by the Bank of Westmont, and Marcel Levesque, who was the president, said everybody gets involved in something,
Right.
and so they chose the Lions for me. So 71 at 42 years, 43 years now, yeah.
And one of the big responsibilities, activities of the Lions Club back in the day was the Powwow Days event, and I know that you were very involved with that. For people who are maybe new to the community, can you tell us a little bit about that particular event?
Powwow Days started back in the 60s, and it was a town carnival parade that used to be on Burlington Street, and it was run, I think, originally by either the Legion or the VFW, and then died. And I remember back in going into places like Wavex Hardware Store and seeing trophies that said Powwow Days, and I used to say, "What's Powwow Days?" Okay. And got a little history from that. And then in 1972, the village celebrated its 50th anniversary. And excuse me. And after that, the Chamber of Commerce decided they wanted to resurrect Powwow Days. So there was a one-year hiatus. Powwow Days started. Chamber ran it for a couple of years. Decided they didn't want to do it anymore. Ed Walliver, who was president of the Chamber back then, came to me and said, "Did I think the Lions could take it over?" And so then I went back to the Lions Club, and they said yes. And then we ran it for
many years.
26 years, I think.
Right. And then eventually Powwow Days ran its course, but then I think it was maybe about 7 years ago, the Lions began this new event called the Red, White, and Barbecue. Can you tell us about how that got started?
Sure. The Red, White, and Barbecue is a cooking competition. That's the premise behind it. Mark Link from Uncle Bub's went to the village of Westmont almost 9 years ago now, and talked to the village about doing this cooking competition. Village didn't feel that that was something that they could do or want to be responsible for. Chris Vitak, who at that point was president of the Westmont JCs, and I got together and said, we could do that.
Sure.
So from Mark Link's talking in front of the village board, the JCs and the Lions did a joint project and started the Red, White, and Barbecue 7 years ago.
So you got it started back then, and obviously there's been a great amount of success from then to now. Where are we today with the event?
Well, we started with 26 teams and 4 amateurs. Today, we're going to have 72 competitive cooking teams and probably 50 amateurs. So in 7 years, this thing has just blossomed into a huge event. Our understanding is that we're the largest cooking competition in the state of Illinois.
And one of the largest in the Midwest.
Yeah, really true. The big competitions are down in Lynchburg, Tennessee, which is the Jack. That's considered the Super Bowl of competitions. Sure. And then out in Kansas City is the Royal. And they have like 500 teams in a couple of different categories. But for the most part, we're considered, one of the largest now in the Midwest. And it's all done through what they call the Kansas City Barbecue Society. The teams that come in cook chicken, ribs, pork shoulder, and beef brisket. And they get points and ratings based on the competition they do.
And in addition to the competition, to round out the event, you have the festival, which includes food vendors, free live music, the carnival, things like that. If people want more information about this event, which is always held Memorial Day weekend, how would they get in touch with the Lions?
Best way to know more about the Red, White, and Barbecue is go on the webpage, which is www.westmontbarbecue.com, and everything is there. There are links to hook up with to see some of the different things that are going on. You can get a list of all the competitive teams. You can get a list of the bands. You can get a list of the food vendors, list of the crafters. We use the same carnival company that comes in for the Taste of Westmont, which is Alpine Amusement. And so, as you said, we have a beer garden. We don't want to forget mentioning that.
Sure.
The cooking competition itself basically pays for itself. The fees that the teams come in and pay. So the money that the Lions Club make really comes off of the food and the beer and those kind of things that we sell, and of course the money we make from the carnival. And that's the profit, if you will, or the fundraising arm of this event for the Lions Club.
And for people who are not familiar, all of the proceeds that come to the Lions goes to which causes?
First of all, the Westmont Lions Club is a local organization. So we do a lot of things locally. We sponsor Little League. We do awards. We do fifth grade awards. We do scholarships. But internationally, the Lions' main focus has been since 1926 and will continue to be our work as Knights of the Blind. We were challenged by Helen Keller in 1926 to take on the blind and the deaf as our work. And we've held ourselves true to that from that time until now. That is our main focus. Even locally here in Westmont, we recycle probably close to 200 or 300 pairs of eyeglasses every year that go to our foundation, and those glasses are cleaned and the prescriptions are checked, and then they might go to places where they can't afford glasses. And we've probably bought already this year 12 or 15 pairs of eyeglasses for Westmont residents, children and adults who can't afford to buy them on their own for whatever reason. So, but the blind and the deaf is our main focus internationally. Lions International is the largest service organization in the world, and we're real proud of what we do. We're proud of being part of Westmont. We are the oldest service organization in this community, having just celebrated our 75th anniversary 2 years ago. So we're 77 years old.
Well, Jim, thanks for all the work that you do and all the work that the Lions Club does for the community. And once again, for more information, go to westmontbbq.com.
Right.